Hello, everybody, and today for Batman the Animated Series, I'm reviewing The Last Laugh. And here's a fun fact. This is actually the first episode I've ever seen of Batman the Animated Series. I was given a DVD of this episode. It came with 2 episodes, this one and Pretty Poison, which is the next episode for next week. But I gotta say, if it wasn't for this episode, I probably would have never fallen in love with this show and Kevin Conroy's Batman, Mark Hamill's Joker, and the whole Batman mythos without this episode. So this episode holds a special place in my heart, and it is a pretty basic episode, but it's done in a good way. So it's basically where the Joker is causing chaos in Gotham. He has a boat full of laughing gas, and he's going to spread it all over Gotham, and that's basically what he does. It basically opens with an ordinary day. It's April Fool's Day. The Gotham citizens are doing whatever, but a trucker, while he's driving, he notices the boat come by with gas, and he doesn't know what it is at first until he starts laughing maniacally, and he can't control himself when driving, and he basically crashes the truck, and it falls off a bridge. He manages to fall out onto the bridge before it falls into the water in the nick of time. It also affects some painters, and the gas is starting to spread. Well, while that's all going on, Bruce is taking a shower at the Wayne Manor, and Alfred pulls a joke on him, saying, "I drew you a bath." And Bruce is like, "Very funny, Alfred." And he decides to take a shower, and he hears the news that there's some gas going on in the Gotham River. And so Bruce decides to investigate while the Joker is causing his usual shenanigans where he's spreading the gas even further into Gotham. And he puts on a helmet with his goons, and it starts to affect the people, and they all start laughing like crazy. And they actually do get some good shots of the people. Like, we get close-ups of them. It actually looks nicely animated, the way they did the laughing. But Joker basically just robs a few things, and his goons also stole some merchandise underwater earlier. But Joker's just doing whatever it takes to just get what he wants, and he basically is just going to keep on spreading this gas. But back at the Batcave, Bruce is investigating what the gas could be, but he tries to ask Alfred if there's a hex key upstairs, and Alfred just makes a silly response. And so Batman decides to investigate, and he sees Alfred causing mayhem in the Wayne Manor. He starts breaking artifacts in Wayne Manor, and he's saying he's got the case of the giggles. But Batman puts on a gas mask before he can get affected, and so he's going to investigate what's going on. So he dons the Batboat. This is the first time we see the Batboat in the show. And he swoops to the Joker's little boat, and we get a bunch of cool scenes. I do love the scene where Joker hears it on the radio, that it starts to affect even people on the radio. We even see Summer Gleason, who's wearing a gas mask, saying it's giving her the creeps as the stock market starts to go down. But Joker basically tries to look out and see if, after hearing a giant bump on their boat, and he looks outside, but he sees Batman on the telescope or whatever, the goggle thing or whatever, and he basically smacks it, and then Joker gets hit, and he sends his goons up to encounter Batman, and we get this nice shot of Batman, which I'm showing right now, and he basically takes out his goons easily, but it isn't until we meet Captain Clown. So Captain Clown looks really creepy in my opinion. I had a speculation he was a robot, but that's when it's revealed later that he is a robot. And he basically defeats Batman by picking him up and just throwing him into a trash can. And Joker uses a knife to basically stab the trash can so Batman can't so the water can get into the trash can, and so Batman can drown. And he basically throws it into the water, the Captain Clown, and then Joker just laughs maniacally. But that isn't going to stop Batman, as he literally calls the Batboat, and it shoots a laser into the trash can, and then Batman says, "You're going to fight dirty, Joker." And then he basically returns as Joker starts to infect his boat with more toxins, and Batman basically throws a batarang at the hose, and we get this nice shot of Batman, and then the goons swoop at Batman, and Batman easily takes them down. He even takes off their clown masks that they're wearing, and the two end up laughing maniacally from the gas. And then Batman basically has to encounter Captain Clown again, and he uses like a stick to take him out, and it's not really working until he smashes its head, basically revealing it is a robot. And then Batman even loses his cape. So yeah, Batman goes through quite a beating in this episode. He has to go through a lot of obstacles, and he basically traps Captain Clown in a garbage disposal, and he basically kills Captain Clown, even though it's a robot. And even really affects Joker. He says, "You killed Captain Clown." But that isn't going to stop Batman from... So the Joker basically sits on Captain Clown's giant square, and he basically goes into I guess you could say, the garbage disposal area, and Batman literally takes off his gas mask, and he's ready. I love this scene where Batman just starts to chase the Joker, and it's basically just a giant goose chase, and it leads to Batman chasing the Joker down a giant slide, and Batman almost gets thrown into the fire pits of the garbage disposal, but he ends up using a grappling hook to get out of there, while Joker gets on top of the main platform, and Batman basically just swoops in there, going through the various machines, and he even swoops through fire, and he finally catches up to the Joker and says, "Justice will be served." Then Joker pulls out his card, and Batman actually catches it, and he even says, "Clean up your act." And it causes Joker to say, "Ooh, you said a joke finally." And then Joker basically runs, trying to escape, but he ends up falling, tripping, and almost falling into the fire. But he asks Batman to save him. And Batman's like, "Not really sure, Joker." But of course he decides to save him, because that's what Batman does. He keeps the Joker from back doing too much harm, and he basically sends him back to Arkham. He basically defeats the Joker, and the day is saved, thank goodness, to Batman. And Alfred starts to feel bad that he destroyed artifacts from Wayne Manor, and then Bruce says, "Oh, I'll just take it out of your salary." But of course he's revealed he's joking. And that's the episode. So the last laugh is definitely a highlight episode for sure. And I think originally Tim Curry was going to voice the Joker in this episode. There's even audio of it. I don't know if you find it on YouTube or the Batman animated series Blu-ray. Probably not, but it would have been interesting to see Tim Curry play the Joker. But they said because his voice was too scary, they decided to do Mark Hamill. It'd be ironic since Tim Curry would go on to voice Pennywise in the It miniseries. But this episode was really good. Fun action, a nice, simple episode of Batman versus the Joker, and the music was really good. That's the one thing about this episode. The music was super catchy. This is the most memorable theme of the show for this episode. So I'd probably give this episode a 10 out of 10. It's a bit high, yes, but it's definitely a fun episode for sure, with Kevin Conroy as Batman and Joker and their one-liners towards each other towards this episode. It's like a good episode of Batman versus the Joker. So I think I've rambled enough about this episode. So definitely check it out for sure. But next episode we're doing Pretty Poison, the first appearance of Poison Ivy in the show. So that will be exciting. So that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.